the thing about intuition is that it's not necessarily always leading you to what you think is your direct good or success. So it's not directly leading you to good or bliss or love, but it's ultimately always leading you to your highest good. And that's why oftentimes you might think that you have followed your intuition, that you've been listening to your intuition and to your inspiration and to your heart, but rather you things are not turning out as good as you would expect them to actually be. And that the reason is your intuition works based on your alignment. Your alignment is what drives your intuition. So whatever you are aligned with at a specific moment is whatever determines your intuition. So for example, if you are not directly aligned with something, if you are aligned, let's say if you are aligned with lots of money or lots of love in your life, but then you don't love yourself, what your intuition is going to lead you to is to an experience that's going to teach you to love yourself, and not necessarily to an experience of love. For example, if you start a business and then you're not ready for the risks the business is going to cause, or if you're aligned with success, let's say, and then you feel as if your intuition made you start a business or seek out a different job opportunity or travel across country for some kind of an opportunity, a career opportunity, but then you find that it did not go as well, that you encountered so many problems, that your employer was so bad or so negative, your boss is not a good person, is not treating you well, your colleagues are not nice, and then you end up causing problems or being mixed up in some problems, and then you end up being terminated or fired from that career opportunity, and you keep thinking to yourself, but I followed my intuition, I trusted in my intuition, I trusted in myself, how did it end up this way? What happened? What's happening is that you were being taught a lesson that's ultimately going to direct you, that's ultimately going to lead you next to what's really what you're really aligned with, to what's really in your highest good. It's ultimately always working in your highest good. If you are not harboring so much self-hate and so much, if you are remotely aligned with your highest good, if you are remotely seeking out your highest good, then your alignment is always going to be in your highest good. Your alignment is always working in your favor. However, it does not work directly. It's not as if you are wishing for something and it creates it, but rather it creates the steps that leads you towards what you are wishing for. It creates the steps that are going to teach you how to get to where you are trying to get to the person you're trying to become. And so sometimes you might feel as if your intuition have pushed you towards a certain direction and you chose to believe, and that's exactly what happened with me more than once. And I trusted. I felt it was so hard to even trust in it to begin with. I was so distrusting to begin with, but I chose to trust and I chose to take the risks, and it did not end up well from my point of view, and it created so much suffering. But the suffering is not really related. The suffering comes from the resistance. The suffering comes because I chose to keep thinking that this was my intuition and it must work out in a specific way. If my intuition led me to this and I was expecting that to come out, I was expecting that kind of outcome, as long as it's not going towards that outcome, I should keep forcing it, and I should keep doing other things that I don't really feel inspired to do, that I don't really feel is what my intuition is leading me to, because the first thing is what my intuition led me to. And so once my intuition led me to something, I kept forcing my way through that intuition. I took the first step based on intuition, but all of the other steps within that first step, all of the other things within that intuitively led experience was things that I felt I wanted to do because I had a specific image in my mind, I had a specific expectation, and I'm trying to lead the whole experience towards that expectation. But the thing is, intuition does not work that way. And that's why it could feel as if it's working against you at sometimes. You could feel as if your intuition is not working for your highest good at sometimes. But it's almost always ultimately working for your highest good. It's just not a direct process. It's just not a linear process. And that's why you should never really give up. You should not completely distrust and disbelieve in who you truly are. You should always continue to believe. You should always continue to trust in who you truly are and how things work, and how you are just pure conscious energy, and it's all channeled through you. No matter what's being channeled, it is for your highest good. You are pure conscious energy taking the form of whatever you are meant to experience in order to arrive at your purpose, in order to be living your most blissful, loving, joyful life. So when you experience, what I'm trying to say about all of this is when you have an intuition and you choose to trust in it, you choose to take that leap of faith, and now when you're diving into the unknown and you feel threatened, all you have to do is just to maintain it, persist with whatever you're doing, and ultimately it's going to lead you there. The more you experience resistance because things are not going up to your standards, the expectations you had out of this intuition, for this intuition, the more resistance you bring up, the more aversion you feel towards that thing, because it's not working as you expected it to go, and you think it's based on intuition, so it should go as I expected it to, what I think is my good. The more resistance you keep building, the more suffering that experience is going to become. But ultimately, even if you keep resisting, it's going to end. You're going to be driven towards the edge of your control, towards the edge of resistance, and then you will really surrender. And that's when things start magically shifting. This is when it all starts working out in your favor, because you have learned the lesson, and now you have let go of control, and you've surrendered yourself. You've opened yourself up to the experience, and now what you were expecting is going to formulate in a way or another. So don't think that intuitions are directly leading you to what you expect them to. It works in a mysterious way. The more you master it, the more you surrender yourself to the process, the more like water you become, the better it works, and the more space, the more you open yourself up for it to actually channel pure conscious energy through you, leading you to your highest good. That's all I wanted to share for today. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for having all of you continuously sharing all of this with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, because it helps this video find its way to many more others who might actually need it.